Yamfore just released a three-part blog post on Medium about three new updates to their protocol that we're going to highlight here. The first thing is a roadmap update. They are pushing things back one quarter. So they're supposed to go testnet in Q4 2022 and mainnet Q1 2023. They're pushing everything back one quarter. So testnet will be in Q1 2023. Mainnet will be Q2 2023. This is not a huge deal. Yamfore is a pretty new project, small team. They're working diligently to update things and make things more effective as a protocol. So one roadmap pushback is not a huge deal, especially because it's hard to know on the software development lifecycle where things are going to be at certain times. And if you run into a hiccup, I can see how things need to be pushed back a quarter. Not a huge deal. If it keeps happening down the line, that might be something to look at. But as of right now, not a huge deal for me. The second thing is going to be that they are updating their stable or they're updating the loan to value ratio needed to take a loan on Yam4. Originally, it was starting, it was the range of 100 to 0 to 50-50 loan to value ratio of ADA to CBLP based on the percentage of stablecoins in the stablecoin treasury at a given time. In their blog post, they highlighted that there's some type of attack that whales can do with like botting the amount of loans taken. And so because the loan to value ratio is only updated on a per block basis for the Cardano blockchain, that, if a whale had significant power, they could get all like, say it was 100-0, they get all the 100-0 loans. Basically, the whale could get all the loans at a higher ADA to CBLP LTV, even though that stable coin's not in the treasury because of this attack. Because of this, in order to mitigate this risk, they have changed this to now starting at a 70-30 ADA CBLP LTV ratio for any loan holders on Yam4. Loans will also be completely controlled by the community and on-chain governance. So if we as a community decide we want it to be 90-10 ADA to CBLP, or if we want it to be 50-50 ADA to CBLP, that's our prerogative. That's our job. We can push that as we please. There's some things to note about this. Like if there was no stable coins in the treasury, it would not be the best to have like a pure ADA 90-10 split between ADA CBLP. It'd probably be better to have 50-50. And if there were just a ton of stables in the treasury, it would be more important to have a higher ADA to CBLP ratio, maybe like a 90-10 compared to a 50-50. This is up to the community to understand and to vote on. Probably the only people that'll be voting in a Yam4 governance is people that actually understand the protocol, hopefully. But just something to watch out for it with on-chain governance and things that we can control. There's always a risk that, users would vote for the wrong thing, and if they vote for the wrong thing, it has to get implemented, right? Furthermore, in their blog post, they go on saying how this new adaptation of using on-chain governance for determining the LTV ratio means that they will essentially trying to fully utilize the stablecoin treasury at any point in time. They're not going to try and hold excess stables in the reserve. They're going to try and have people take those out as loans so that they consider stables more of a transitory asset in this sense. Previously, we talked about how at any point in time when you take a loan, you can get a random allocation of stables. And that was when the stablecoin treasury was acting under Yamfore's control. So now that the stablecoin treasury is going to be completely emptied all the time, theoretically, there might be some stables in it, but not an excess. You will receive whatever stablecoins that they deem like that the stablecoin treasury has. So maybe one time you earn IUSD for your stablecoin, maybe another time you use USDA. Whatever stables are in the treasury is what you'll have access to. The third thing is that you will now be required to have a 110% ADA collateralized loan before you can withdraw your loan compared to the previous 105% over collateralized loan. So basically on loans on Yam4, instead of having a 5% fee in ADA, you now have a 10% fee. So just know if you want to take a loan out on Yam4, in order to get out of that loan without paying extra ADA, your ADA will have to appreciate by 10% basically. Those are the three things going on with the Yam4 in their most recent update. Now, backing off of that, I want to talk about the math behind how you can achieve a 2x leverage loan and how you can take $1,000 and essentially have $2,000 worth of capital, or you can take something like $10,000 and have $20,000 of working capital. So let's say I have $1,000 that I want to put into Yam4 and take a loan out with at a 70-30 ADA to CBLP ratio. Also in the situation, ADA is going to be 30 cents and CBLP is going to be 1 cent. They're very close to the current prices. So in this scenario, if I was to put $1,000 into the loan, I would receive 333 ADA, and 50,000 CBLP within my loan. Now, at a 1-to-1 ratio of ADA to stable coins, that means I would receive 2,333 IUSD or whatever stable coin that Yamfore has from Cardano in the treasury. I could then take this 2,333 stable coins, swap them for ADA in the open market, and then take that ADA, 2,333 ADA, and put it into Yamfore again for loan number 2. This loan, this 2,333 ADA, would then be split up in a 70-30 split again, and that would leave me with 1,166 ADA and 25,000 CBLP inside of loan number 2. From this loan, I would then be able to take out 1,166 stable coins that I can then swap again on the open market for loan number 3. Loan number 3 would have 583 ADA and 12,500 CBLP. Now I can repeat this process over and over and over, and I got to essentially about 7 loans before you are just like, you're down to about 35 ADA. So, a transaction happens with a couple ADA. So I decided to stop there. I got to loan number 7. So if you take $1,000 and convert that into ADA CBLP, you can get about 7, 8, less than 10 loans, but around 7 or 8 loans, depending on how low in ADA you want to go. When you add all this up and decide to see how much leverage you've essentially achieved, at the end of this, you have 4,630 ADA and you have about 99,200 CBLP. This roughly translates to $1,400 worth of ADA at 30 cents and about $600 worth of Yamfore at a penny. This means your working capital, when you add the two together, ends up to be about $1,900 from $1,000 start. So with this method, you're essentially achieving a 2x leverage. Whatever dollar you put in, if you keep taking loans on that until you can't anymore, you'll end up with about $1.90 or around $2 at a 2x leverage. The same thing works with $10,000 or $100,000. You just basically double it. So if you have $10,000, you're going to end up with about $19,000-ish to $20,000. If you start with $100,000, you're going to end up with about $198,000 or $199,000, $200,000, somewhere around there. What makes this thing so interesting is that, yeah, you can only get about 2x leverage. It's nothing like 50 or 100x leverage, which I would never recommend to anyone. But Liam4 has no liquidation, an indefinite term loan. So really, I mean, turning 1,000 into 2,000 as long as your ADA appreciates is just going to be, it's in crazy value. So instantly today, if the price of ADA does not change, that means you've turned $1,000 into $2,000. Now you will need the price of ADA to appreciate by 10% in order to take those loans out and get that money out. But imagine if the price of ADA does a 10x back to $3. Not only have you taken the leverage on the loan, but you also have price appreciation of the assets that you hold. So not only did 1,000 turn to 2,000, but 1,000 on a 10x turns to 10,000 and 2,000 on a 10x turns to 20,000. The price appreciation is not considered leverage, but you can see the power of this about how when you have price appreciation and leverage working together, you can turn $1,000 into a much higher amount of money. Basically, whatever your ADA was going to turn into just based on price appreciation, you can double it. I'm still very skeptical. Leverage is still something to take very seriously. But and Yamfore is a new protocol. It's not even out yet, so I can't touch it based on the rules I've set for myself. I cannot buy CBLP. I cannot invest into the protocol until I've used it and I can see that people are using it and I can see that it kind of makes sense. But I do like what I've seen from the platform so far. Once I'll be able to get my hands on it and kind of see how I enjoy the protocol, and then I can see how the utility of the CBLP token is, which it does have utility. It's required to take a loan. That's utility. And then those CBLP will be locked into smart contracts for extended period of times if their indefinite loan terms kick in. So that will have price appreciation built into the platform. But there is some things to watch out for with the platform. One, it's liquidation, smart contracts, new protocols, stuff like that. But also, because they're going to have like the stablecoin treasury constantly empty, there will be a cap size to how many people that this platform can service at any given time. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just something to recognize. If there's no stablecoins in the treasury because a huge whale is taking a huge loan, that means no one else will get to take loans until more stables have been added to the treasury. So that was just my quick update on Yamfore, that new blog post they put out. Three new things happening on the protocol and how, the math behind the 2x leverage work. I don't want to say it's going to be safe to use the leverage yet because we just don't know. I don't say that it's a good buy to get into CBLP right now because we set new rules for ourselves on this channel. We have to have a platform before we invest into the token. We need to test the protocol, and then we need to see token utility. Those are just two of many things that we're looking at. But things to watch out for on Yam4. Yam4 is moving and working, so definitely keep your eye on it in 2023 as they come out with some huge new things on testnet and production. If you like the video, if you like the updates, if you like the analysis of how you can get 2x leverage on Yamfor with, no liquidation, indefinite loan terms, please leave a like, please subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. God bless.